All right, Coach. Well, now that you've had a chance to kind of go back and look at the film, did you have any additional thoughts on the way the Navy game played out?
Yeah, no, I thought we were pretty spot on after the game. Just missed opportunities. The consistency level of this team has to improve. There's a number of opportunities for us to win that game. So I think we continue to grow. I think we continue to fight for one another. I thought it was huge. The defense coming up with two big stops, kind of give it back to the O with two chances, with a chance to go win the game for us. And then just, we fell apart as far as our protection was not good. And it was, not just the O-line at times. Sometimes it was them in a four-man rush, and sometimes it was our blitz pickup. And so, but you look back at it, I mean, there's a ton of things, right? From the first drive on, as far as, first quarter, we had 150-plus yards of offense, I think, and we get 3 points out of it. Totally my fault on the first drive, and we have a second goal from the inch-yard line, and I should have ran a quarterback sneak. Like, we got a strong quarterback, and that's my fault. I'll take complete responsibility for that. And then come back and drive it again, and then just, whether it was Chandler missing a couple open receivers, whether it was us not making plays when he put it on them, there was a multitude of things that happened for us. And then you look, the 2-minute drive should have never happened. I mean, we had great coverage on the guy on 3rd and 8, a situation Navy does not want to be in. We have a mental bust on defense, and it turns into a scramble drill. And the next play, we have another mental bust when we're playing man coverage, and we try to jump a route. So, all those things are inexcusable, and those are things that I need to get fixed, that our coaches need to get fixed. That's a game that definitely was winnable from a different variety of places and throughout the whole course of the game. And so, our bad ball tape this week, wasn't necessarily plays. It was just the progression of it, right? I mean, in the third quarter, we get a chance to tie it up, and we're on track, great drive, 2nd and 2, and we take a sack, and then we miss a wide open receiver on a wheel, and then it pushes us back. So now it's a long field goal. Now it's a 52-yarder instead of 42-yarder. So, there's a ton of things that happen sequence-wise in that game. We got to continue to grow. We got to get tougher. I thought that at the end of the day, that they were tougher in those situations. And I'm not just talking about tougher like physically. I'm just talking about tougher, that's mentally, that's doing your job, that's doing it with effort, that's getting to the ball, that's doing your assignment over and over and over. And so, yeah, one that got squandered, and one that will haunt me for a long time.
Navy got to Chandler 8 times last week. Just what happened there, and just why is it a struggle to protect the quarterback?
Yeah, they brought a ton of pressure. We knew that coming in, so I think it was everybody kind of took turns. If we pulled up the tape for you, a couple of them were on the O-line, a couple of them were on the running backs in protection, and a couple of them were Chandler's fault where he didn't have a plan for getting the ball out hot. And so yeah, I think it's all three of those positions not being able to go out there and execute. And so as far as us as coaches, I mean, we got to get that fixed, and that's our job. And so obviously it wasn't the information wasn't relayed good enough. So at the end of the day, it falls back on us, and it falls back on me.
Did you see some signs of growth defensively, or have you seen that?
Yeah, I think every week, I think that our tackling was a lot better. You look at a couple of the, two of the little belly plays that went. One of them was poor tackling, and then one of them were kind of misaligned and misfitted, and so kind of was able to pop out the backside. But just holistically, when you look at it, now one thing we have to do a better job of is just on first down, teams are getting too much on us, and so for us to be able to put these offenses in negative situations, and us getting tackles for loss and us getting turnovers are a couple big things that we've kind of been lacking. Like, as we get better defensively and as we're tackling better, like I think there's a lot of things to build on. But with this style of defense, I mean, you got to have one or the other, as far as being able to set them back in the chains and get some tackles for losses, be disruptive, or be able to generate some turnovers. And so, but I think they're settling in, and to see them kind of compete, you see Rod come through and make a huge play there at the end of the game, to be able to get a big tackle for loss to get it back to our offense. I mean, you see little pieces of that. You see our safeties coming downhill and taking better angles and using better technique and getting guys on the ground. Linebackers are using their hands better. So yes, there's positives, and not even close to being there yet. Bunch of young guys got a ton of reps in this game, so there's some young bucks in the back end playing for us, and so they need to continue. I mean, these game reps are huge for them.
Evan Jackson has some big plays so far in the secondary. What has he done to kind of prove himself and kind of get more reps in the rest of the season with this challenging schedule coming up?
Yeah, I think Evan loves football. I mean, I think that was apparent since he got here in the summer. He's a guy that's just been invested the whole time. He takes pride in everything he does, whether it's special teams, whether it's being on the field on defense. And so I think early on, he didn't get a ton of reps in fall camp, but every time he was out there, even the offensive side is something that you noticed him doing really good and being around the ball. And so, still same thing with him, right? I mean, there's a couple plays where he's got to know the situation and where he let a guy get behind him on some of those deep balls there when they were in some second and long and third and long situations, where he's got to improve technique and understand where the sticks are. And so, but yeah, he loves football. He prepares the right way. He practices the right way, and I think he's going to be a great player for us for a long time.
So anything you can take from a game against Navy going forward, considering just the nature of their offense like that, being an option team?
Yeah, I mean, I think, defensively for us to really hunker down and read our keys, I think was something good for them and not to really focus on the ball and focus on where they're keying. So I think you carry over that, although, this offense this week is going to be completely different and facing a team that likes to air the ball out, but still is going to prove true, in our schematics is we got to read our keys and play fast and be able to get downhill and tackle the football. And so now this week, presents a different challenge as a team that really likes to air it out and, has averaged a ton of yards through the air this year. Warner's playing at a high level right now. I mean, I think he's top 10 in the nation as far as passing yards. And so, but yeah, I think when you really have to dial into something like we did last week, I think that should be able to carry over into this week as far as us just reading our keys, playing our keys, and playing fast.
I wanted to ask you about Iowa Day. He's rushed for over 100 yards in 3 straight games. So just kind of how important is it to get him going?
Yeah, I mean, just continue. It'd be the same thing. It's not going to change ever. I think just he's competitive. He practices extremely hard. He's a guy that wants the ball in his hands. And so for a running back, I mean, I think that's key. Now we got to clean some stuff up on him as far as pass protection. He knows that. But as far as, just someone that needs the ball 15 times a game in space with how electric he is something that continues to show up on tape. So did a great job, running the football in between the tackles, made some great cuts, finished some great plays down the field for us. And so yeah, I mean, he'll continue to be a key part in this offense.
You mentioned Warner, Temple's quarterback, but just holistically, what do you see in Temple as you guys prepare for this game?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a team that's kind of similar to us that's going to come here and be hungry and kind of looking for that spark to set things go in the right direction. You think, last week, I think you saw a glimpse of that. I mean, they were able to jump on UTSA early. Were able to accumulate a ton of yards, 500-plus yards on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, they've had some injuries, but I think they have 2 really good safeties that have played a lot of football. I think that their corners, do a good job on the outside. They have some linked out there. And then linebacker-wise, the number 6 is a great player. I'm terrible with names, but 6 is someone that's caught my eye all week, and you can see him running around making plays. And so, yeah, I mean, this will be about us. We got to go out. They've kind of done some different things week by week, and so it'll be key for us. Played quite a few coverages, so it'll be key for our quarterbacks to be keyed on kind of what they want to do to us and how they prepare to stop us. And then offensively, we'll see what they try to do as far as, if they're going to try to commit a little bit more to the run game against us, or if they're going to stay consistent and air it out like they've been doing it. And so, I think last week, he threw the ball a ton of times last week, and the guy that throws it on time and is consistent. And so we got to do a great job of having our eyes in the right place and defending the pass.
Kind of in the midpoint part of the season, what's something that team can hang their hat on going into the finals this game?
Yeah, we just got to continue to grow. I mean, we got to continue to see, and we're in a growth mindset in this whole entire team. And so, I think you've seen it, and from a lot of different people, a lot of different positions. And I think as we continue to build a foundation here, I mean, it's got to be one step better. Like this week's got to be 1 week better. I thought we had a great Tuesday practice just now, which is a part of the process of growing this team and the culture around here is to be able to respond to things. And so yeah, I mean, I think that we're going to demand a little bit more of them out of practice wise. Just as far as if it's not right, we're going to reload it and do it again until we get it right. And I think we got to be able to dial in these critical situations of the game. Like I talked about earlier, there's so many critical plays that we look back on and watch as a whole entire team. Because I think sometimes people tend to point this at one player or another that they did good or bad, and it wasn't one person. I mean, we had so many dang opportunities to win that football game, and that's the most disappointing part of it is we just didn't capitalize.
Considering the next 4 games are against the conference favorites, is it kind of important to get back on going here?
Yeah, just whoever's on our schedule. I don't have a choice of mixing that up. So yeah, I mean we're gonna have to play them all. We're not gonna be worried about what they're doing, what's going on within their program. We're gonna go fight each and every one of them, and so we're gonna continue to grow, and so that goes back into our growth mindset. We got to get a week better. I don't even know who's the next 4 games on our schedule are. So we gotta do a good job focusing on Temple.
Rod's getting close to 2,000 yards for his career, which is a pretty big milestone. Not many guys have gotten there at this place. What has made Rod so effective? Just what you've seen in your time here.
Yeah, I think his hands. I think he has a great ability to catch the ball away from his body. I think he has great body control. Not the fastest guy, he would tell you that, and takes great pride in his route running and understands how to get open versus zone, how to get open versus man. So I think he's got a football IQ that's extremely high, and I think when you pair that with really good pair of hands on you, then that's a recipe that you can have a lot of success at the wideout position in this offense.
Is he just one of those guys like you're talking about that kind of finds a way to to get open and to make himself effective at that size?
Yes.
What is it? You've obviously gotten a chance to coach him for the last few months here. What have you gotten to know him a little bit better? Have you enjoyed working with him?
Yeah, absolutely. I think at first it was hard to kind of get his personality, and I think the more and more you're around him, the more and more you see that how much he cares about the game, how much he cares about his teammates, how much he enjoys to come out here. And I think we were on him a little bit, wanting to lose a little weight and get a little bit more nimble as far as running. Went back and did some research. His best year, he played at 185 or so, and then when we got here, he's all the way in the 200. So challenged him to lose some weight this off season. Did a great job of it. Came out, and I think you've really seen that. But learning how to practice and watching him continue to be a better practice player has been fun to watch.
Anything else?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you a little bit about Vic. You brought him in as a transfer for your defensive line in the offseason. What have you seen from him in his time here?
Yeah, I think we've seen good and bad. I think he's someone that he has the size, he has the length, he has game experience, all those different things. And so I think the one thing I'd like to see is just a game-changing play for Vic, and to be able to really dominate, shed a blocker, and be someone that's playing in the backfield a little bit more. But he's somebody that's you can count on him. He's in his gap. He's playing his technique. You can tell that he's vested in it, but just a little bit more disruption as far as making a play. And we got to do that holistically. Like players make plays at the end of the day, and so holistically, I think we gotta find those moments that we can put the pressure on them on all 3 sides of the ball. You look back at it and talk about the missed opportunities we had on offense and some drop balls and situations, and we had a perfect punt block dialed up for them that was executed perfectly. Like we got to make the play, and then defensively, same thing we talked about earlier. Like we gotta force our hand and be the aggressor at times and force them into negative plays.
All right, Rod. So coming off that Navy game, how have you guys looked at that and adjusted? And what did you get out of that Navy?
Navy game, I got that we're going to be a very aggressive defense. I mean, I feel like our guys is buying in very much into our game plan each and every week. We get better each and every week. I feel like this team is finally starting to trust the process.
Then you got that big TFL late there. Just how do you stay focused in close games and kind of do what you need to do?
Really paying attention to what teams is giving us. So, prior to that play, they ran the same play just on the opposite side. And so they ran it, we stopped it, but we called timeout. We come to the sideline, and my other nose guard, Marcus Moore, he told me, just go ahead and shoot it. Like, you're going to make the play. I know you're going to make the play. Just shoot it. Don't overthink it. Push come to shove, they run the same play on the opposite side. Just went in there and just made a routine play.
And then in the offseason, they talked a lot about being a disruptor through the center. How effective do you feel like you've been as a disruptor?
Honestly, I don't know how to answer that question. I just come and play team football.
You're getting to the point of the season where you're kind of midway here, and you guys are sitting, right about 500, 2-3. Is it becoming imperative here that you guys get something going as a team in terms of stacking wins together to get to where you want to go?
Honestly, I feel like this team just comes out and worried about the week that's in front of us, not what's ahead of us. We come out worried about what's our opponent, what's our objective, what's our job going into this week. We're not worried about, if we're going to make 500, if we're going to make ball game, or if we're going to make conference ball. We're just going to come out and play football each and every week, give it all.
You got Temple this week. What challenges do they present matchup-wise on the side?
I seen they play UTSA, which is a really good football team. They threw for almost 500 yards, so I'm assuming that this is a team who likes to throw the ball, who has like big playmakers on the outside. And I know for a fact they have a very nice tight end because, we worry about the front seven, so I know that their tight end is very good. He's a very good blocker, so I know he could be a very good pass runner, a route runner, I mean. So I feel like it's just going to be their threat is passing the ball.
I wanted to ask you about Bryce Linder, who's, yeah, so he's kind of come on here. He's finally getting an opportunity to play. What have you seen from him as a part of your defense?
I seen a guy who's just been committed, who never comes in and complain. I mean, he's been through the Coach Bennett era. He's been through this era, and I've never once seen Bryce complain. I've seen Bryce come in and be the starter and become the guy who doesn't touch the field, and I've never seen him complain. I feel like it's a guy who comes in and work each and every day and puts in what he needs to put in.
I feel like you guys are making some progress here defensively. It seemed like you guys have been playing a little bit better each week, and maybe you really took a bit of a jump last week against Navy.
I really don't feel. I think I know that we're making progress.
What makes you feel that way?
Because if you look at the stats, I'm really not a big stat guy, but like if you watch the game, our first game we made very big mistakes, and then the following week we made a few big mistakes, but you seen guys making their routine plays. Then we come back, we play La Tech. La Tech, you see they really didn't get a yard the whole first half. Probably, I know they didn't get over 50. Then we come back, we went back to our old habits, and then we came and closed the game. Then Navy, you seen everybody making routine plays. You can see nobody out there being selfish, and that I feel like I'm so glad we played Navy because that showed us that all we have to do is just do our job, our 1 and 11. If you do our 1 and 11, this defense is gonna be like something serious.
Because, that's a little bit of an unusual offense to play against. Is there something you guys can take from playing an option team as you go forward into the rest of the season?
For everybody to do their 1 and 11.
That's it. Do a 1 and 11. I was going to ask you about Vic as well. He's the guy that transferred in this season on your guys' defensive line. What have you seen from him over the course of his time here?
Well, if we talk about personality, Vic would not speak to you. But I feel like Vic is a very lengthy guy. He's like very long. He has like some great abilities. Like he has like the length he's like a tarantula. Like the dude is long, and I feel like his length is like going to like this week. I feel like Temple is in a big trouble because this group can pass rush. And I just feel like we haven't really had the chance because we haven't been able to stop the run. So we've been very honed in on stopping the run.
Yeah, hey, Rod. So what did you guys get out of that game against Navy last week?
Really just got to continue to gel together as a team and then just finish, finish our opportunities that we get as an offense.
Was that really the thing that hurt you in that game, just maybe missing too many opportunities?
Yes, sir. I feel like we missed out on a couple opportunities that could have put the game away, especially being in red zone and then just finishing routine plays, So I feel like, that was kind of part of it.
Was it just good mentally to kind of, didn't come away with the win, but just to be close in your first AAC game?
I mean, like, we know we're gonna be able to compete against any team, so like that's not really our goal, is to be close. Like we know we can go out there and compete, so we're trying to win. But I mean, you just got to be positive moving forward, and you know what I'm saying, get back to the drawing board and just, like I said, execute and finish those opportunities that we have.
You guys need to get something going here in terms of wins and losses as you get deeper into conference play.
Yeah, you got to win 6 to get a bowl game, and then I feel like we still have a good shot in the conference. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a late season. I mean, it's getting late. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff can happen, and you just got to take one game at a time, though. You know what I'm saying? Focus on your next opponent.
You got Temple this week. What challenges do they present on?
They're kind of athletic on the outside, on the perimeter. A lot of cover 2, cover 3, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, it's really up to us, though, you know what I'm saying? Temple, they're a good opponent, you know what I'm saying? They're coming off a loss against UTSA, so they're going to be ready, trying to get in that win column 2 in the conference. So it's going to be a good game. We just got to go out there, make routine plays, and execute to a high level.
A guy you'll be facing a lot there in the slot is their safety, Taiwan Francis. Just what have you seen out of him in film?
I feel like he's a good player, you know what I'm saying? But, like, going into it, you know what I'm saying, I try to focus on controlling what I can control, and that's me, you know what I'm saying, being locked into my assignment in the play and going out there and making my plays like I always do.
You're getting close to 2,000 yards, which is a pretty big milestone for any college player. What are your thoughts on potentially joining that exclusive club of guys who've gotten to that mark?
Just very blessed. Want to give the glory to God. You know what I'm saying? He puts me in this position week in and week out. So I just try to go out there and control what I can control, and that's catching the ball and trying to get as much yards as I can when I'm put in positions to be successful. So that's a blessing, especially coming from where I come from. You know, I was a walk-on, so a lot of guys don't get to accomplish that. So that's an honor.
Coach talked about your hands and your route running ability. Is there anybody that you model in the game on?
I really just, I just like watching good football. Like, I watch a lot of different guys and just try to take pieces of their game and just apply it to myself, you know what I'm saying? So it's a long list of guys that I just like watching, and if I see something the way they ran a route that I like, I just try to, you know what I'm saying, put it into my game.
What will that mean to you to get to the 2,000-yard mark?
Man, I'm really competitive. It's crazy because I don't think about it going in there at the game, but like I knew like this season I have a good chance of, you know what I'm saying, cracking that, and then continue. Like, we have 7 more games, continue to get on the pace to even go, you know what I'm saying, top 5 or whatever the case may be. But I really don't try to get into it. Like I said, I just control what I can control, you know what I'm saying, and that's going out there and making, you know what I'm saying, my plays when they come to me.
How did you get to that point? I mean, you came in here as a walk-on, and now you're looking at being a 2,000-yard guy at North Texas. How did you get from where you started to where you got?
Man, really just being consistent. I knew if I be consistent, I have a great shot, you know what I'm saying, of being legendary, you know what I'm saying. That was my goal, you know what I'm saying, coming in here, just staying down, staying patient, waiting for my opportunity. And then, like I said, when you get those opportunities, you know, you got to take full advantage of them and don't leave no money out there on the table. So that's really how I've been, you know what I'm saying, and just learning, staying healthy, you know what I'm saying. Like I said, thanks to God, you know. So that's really how, just really being consistent.
How did you end up getting here?
Man, that's a crazy story. So I remember high school, I was crying on signing day because a lot of my boys were signing. And one of my partners, Alex Hogan, he's at U of H right now. And he was talking to Coach Choice. Coach Choice was the running back coach at this time. You know what I'm saying? So he put me on with Coach Choice, and I got in contact with Coach Choice, and Coach Choice still a solid dude to this day. He's up at Texas. And he got me introduced to Coach T-Main, and then they was like, they'll take me as a preferred walk-on. So I came on a junior day as a high school senior, and I got to meet the coaches and stuff like that, and I felt the genuine love. And then I came in for fall camp of 2018. And then, right there, I just had to stay patient and wait for my opportunity. I had a couple guys in front of me. So I just knew eventually, though, like, when it was on me, I'd be able to make my plays and, you know what I'm saying, contribute to this program.
So who was it that introduced you to Coach Choice?
It was my boy Alex Hogan. He's at U of H right now. He's a DB. So, yeah, like, because they actually was recruiting him, but he was telling, like, Coach Choice, like, he got a couple other options, you know what I'm saying? But, like, my dude, Rod, you know what I'm saying, he don't really have nothing. He kind of overlooked, checked this dude out. And, like, Coach Choice checked me out, and he sent my little huddle to T-Main, and they kind of like what they saw. They couldn't really offer me no money. They was just like, you know, we'll give you a preferred walk-on, and that was all I needed. That's why I felt like I'd be able to earn my scholarship eventually.
Did you just feel like you needed a chance somewhere?
Yeah, facts. That's how I feel. Even with the next level, you know what I'm saying, or even on this level too. Like I just feel like I need a chance. That's all I need is a chance to go out there and showcase my talent. You know what I'm saying, my hard work and my consistency.
Where else were you thinking about going if you didn't get an opportunity in Division I?
It's crazy because I was gonna try to walk on. It was probably gonna be Houston, closer to home. I thought about Texas State, and then I thought about North Texas was obviously an option, and really just kind of like schools like that. You know what I'm saying? Kind of schools in the Conference USA at the time. I feel like I can compete in that conference and contribute. So like those 3 schools.
Was it just your drive that maybe helped you more than anything else, the will to do it?
Yes, sir. That, and then like just like I always seen myself making progress, you know what I'm saying? Then like when I got there at fall camp, like I knew I can compete, you know what I'm saying? Going out there and practice, getting reps, and then you got to think I'm going against I'm on scout team going against the main defense every day, and I'm still making plays. So I knew that eventually, and even on the sideline, like on the sideline of game time, I'm in my travel squad, and I just feel the rush, and I'm not even out there. I'm just cheering the team on, but I'm knowing like, man, one day I'm gonna be out there making plays. So just staying down, you know what I'm saying, and talking to God, you know what I'm saying, just waiting for my opportunity. Then a lot of those older guys kind of, you know what I'm saying, kept me, you know what I'm saying, in the right space of knowing like my time is coming.
What was the knock on you coming out of high school? Was it your size? Was that what maybe prevented you from being?
Yeah, I believe so. It was probably like my size, and I went to a big high school in Lamar. We had a lot of top guys, so I was really just getting overlooked by a lot of those guys. But I felt like my skill set and like being around those guys, like at practice and competing with those guys, they helped me a lot. So that's why it was. I don't want to say it was just an easy translation to college, but that's why I felt like very good in a competing setting with the guys that was already in college, because like I was kind of used to competing with some of the top guys.
Yeah, one last thing I was going to ask you is about Bryce Linder. He's come here. He's overcome some obstacles in his career as well. What have you seen from him? It seems like he's contributing a little bit this year.
Yeah, Bryce, man, he's a good dude. You know what I'm saying? I go against him at practice. Feel like he's getting his confidence back. He's able to come up, hit, make plays. You know what I'm saying, in the run game. Also make some plays in the passing game, and we just got to continue to be consistent, man, and just continue to gel together and just continue to make our routine plays. I've seen Bryce make plenty of plays, man. So he'll be fine. He'll be fine.